Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to King Arthur Legends Rise. I want to talk a little bit about the game again today, as we've been playing it for a little while now. I want to talk about the difficulty, because I think it's an interesting topic, particularly in this game. I've spoken a little bit about it in the past, but I want to kind of hone in on it today, because I have some thoughts, and I want to know where you guys are at with it all. As someone who is free to play, I think my experience is very different than people that are spending. There's a lot of people in my Discord that are spending, and there seems to be, which is to be expected, right? Access to a lot more things as you're spending, particularly gear. I'm noticing that I think the foundation of all of the problems that I can't solve yet in the game come down to an issue of gear. I still think mechanically, when I look at the dungeons and I look at my champs and I look at the champs available to me through rares and uncommons specifically, I see solutions to all of the problems. But the problem is getting the gear on them to make them capable of solving the problems. So I've personally hit a point in this game. I was speaking about this in my Discord a couple of days ago. I'm at a point in this game where I feel like I'm at my first legitimate end-to-end wall. I am as far as I can go in every piece of content in this game, save a couple. There might be a couple of places I can still push a little bit, which I'm gonna try probably after this video. But I think I'm as far in every direction as I can go, and in order to go further in one direction, I need to go further in another direction. Like, going further in one direction facilitates going further in another, but I can't go further in this one till I go further in this one. I can't go further in this one till I go further in this. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of am at like my first wall. So what I've been doing is just farming a lot of Gorgos. I've been trying to get my gold is low right now because I just built another champ. But I've been trying to get my gold and experience potions up so that when I pull someone new or when I see someone in my roster that I think looks interesting, I can just bring them up and try something with them. But the end result tends to be the same lately, and it's just that we just can't handle the content we're in. I did go in, let's talk about where I'm at everywhere. I did go in and get a manual clear of Penveed 9. Same team I've been running. I just did it manually and changed up their skills a little bit. I don't know if this could work on auto, but on manual, with a little bit of luck, we got it to work. I don't think I could do it reliably, and I'm not going to come in here and manually farm a dungeon anyway, so that's fine. But this is the team, and again, when I get the gear on them, I still think this is the team. One thing to note about Tristan really quickly is a little side note. One thing I noticed about him recently that if you haven't clocked might be worth noting, but you can get it from the guild shop. His fire relic, A3, is an 8-hitter. That's a lot of damn hits, man. That's a lot of hits for Penveed. So I'm considering, since I'm continuing to try to lean into Tristan, because I do like him. I do think he's good. I still think he's got a lot of potential with really good gear. I'm considering grabbing it as my first big purchase from the clan shop. It's right here. It's 15.5, and I'm close. I'm getting close to that, right? It'll still be a minute. But yeah, I think 8 hits is a lot, and I'm already using him in there anyway. So that just drastically increases the amount of time that the shield is not up, which I think could be very beneficial for us. But for instance, my K, she's at 14.6 HP. She's almost at 3,000 attack. Most of my healers I can get to around 22,000 HP. Like my healers and tanks, you can see that's about the limit of what I can push right now with my gear, and I'm able to do it on a couple of champs, but I can't really get anybody past that like 23,000 mark just yet. Jarrett's at 21. Like, that's kind of where all my tanky champs are at roughly. So yeah, I bought a couple of those pop-up packs that have 4 to 6 star gear in them. You know, they pop up for like a certain amount of gems, and we got one piece of 6 star gear. I've got a handful of 5 star gear, but again, a lot of it's still flat stat on the spots where we could be getting percentage stuff. So it's like none of it's really changing a ton for me. So we're just kind of in a position where it's like, I think the biggest thing I need is gear, and I just don't have a lot of access to it. I'm as deep as I can get in the gear dungeons. I've cleared stage 6 of both of them, which 6 is not a good farm for me. I feel like I don't need 4-star gear anymore. I think I need 5-star gear to do some of the stuff that I need to do. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But we come in here and farm this. Sometimes we get decent gear, and then we go and craft gear. So I reckon I'm just going to have to keep doing that. But like everything else, we're stuck here. I can almost one-shot this guy before he gets to put up Brainwash. And if I could do that, I could beat the stage. Without being able to do that, I can't beat the stage. Because once Brainwash goes up, he puts it up on someone dangerous every time, like Anguish or Kay. And then we're just kind of screwed. So I can't quite get through stage 25 Forbidden Dungeon. Favorite dungeon, we've pushed up quite a bit. I think this is my best one so far, stage 5. And Stag is the deepest one I can farm. Maybe I hit stage 5 on a couple of others over the weekend as well. But like, you know, I've got a few of my champs awakened to the point where I need gold. So like it's going to take a while. My relics are upgraded as far as I can get them in most cases. You know what I mean? We're just, like I said, we're just kind of at that limit. So what I think I really need to try to get sorted, what I really think is going to make an impact for me is when I get to stage 3 in here. If I could start farming some blue books, I think that would really change some stuff for me. There's some stuff I'm noticing in the skill ups of my rares that would be really handy. Like A3, if I could get this chill rate up, he pretty much decides whether or not I beat Gorgos. If I have good RNG and he lands chills more often than not, we breeze through it pretty effortlessly. If he skips a few turns, if we don't land chill for a few turns and we start to fall behind on the damage and the dots and stuff, then we're in trouble. So if I could get that up to a more reliable number, that'd be great. But again, I mean, with the way that Awakening scales, I might not even be able to fully scale that up. I might start needing gold books after a certain point. You know what I mean? I don't really know how these work yet because I haven't had access to a lot of the blue books. So that's kind of where we're at with it. So do I think the game is too hard? Overall, I think no. I think it's good that we have like intense, difficult problems to solve. We need that. Otherwise, we're going to get bored. You know what I mean? And I think the fact that I can look at all of these dungeons and then look at all my champs and see a road ahead, see solutions to these dungeons in my own roster as a free-to-play player, I think is a very good thing. I think my biggest problem right now is gear. I think if I had better gear, I would be able to solve these problems. But if a boss one-shots me, there's not really much I can do about that. You know what I mean? That's just a matter of needing to scale my stats up. So I think there are a couple of difficulty spikes in this game that are way too abrupt and aggressive. I think 10-7 normal is too hard. I do. I think for the way that the game feels currently, I think that these gear dungeons are a little bit too hard for what they drop. It is way too difficult for me to clear stage 6 to feel like it justifies dropping me 4-star gear. These stage 6 dungeons are pretty tough. Now, for how they scale, like the fact that there's only 10 of them, it probably shouldn't be dropping 5-star gear here. You know what I mean? Like stage 6 probably shouldn't be dropping 5-star gear, but perhaps stage 6 is a little bit too hard. Maybe stage 7 should be as hard as stage 6. You know what I mean? Maybe I should be able to limp into stage 7 and occasionally get some 5-star drops. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, maybe it's a little too difficult. But maybe not. I can only speak to my experience. Maybe there's other free-to-play players who have breezed through that and are in stage 9 or 10. You know what I mean? I think the game still overall is in a good spot. A couple of things I think personally could use some tweaking, but I prefer this over it being too easy. If everybody just reaches the end game in 3 weeks, we're going to get bored before global launch even happens. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens after global launch. Are they interested in making it a little bit more approachable once global launch happens? Are they going to extend dungeon levels? Are they going to like what are the things that they have on their roadmap? I would be very interested to know. And while I don't necessarily think a developer should share a roadmap, I think that almost never goes well. It would be interesting occasionally to just hear a glimpse of what they have planned. So that's kind of where I'm at with the game. I have my moments of frustration for sure. There are problems I'm trying to solve that I'm very aggravated I can't solve. But again, in a way, I think that's healthy. I think I should be feeling challenged and like I've got tall orders ahead of me. I don't want to be in the end game already. I like having problems to solve that I can't solve immediately. I also think I should be able to get gear a little bit more reliably at this point. I'm level 44. I've developed quite a few champs. I understand the game fairly well. You know what I mean? I'm at the point where it's like, okay, I feel like now I should start being able to get my hands on some better gear slightly more reliably. Now I can forge, and I've gotten to where I can sort of start to get my hands on some 4 and 5 star forge material. So we'll continue to rely on that. We'll continue to jump in and try it as we feel like we have holes to fill with it, and small improvements seem to matter a lot in this game. So we'll continue to make small improvements and see what we can accomplish. But I still think it's overall a pretty good spot. I know it's aggravating sometimes. I know it's really difficult, but I think that's better than the alternative. I think it's better than being too easy. So as far as what my personal plan is going to be moving forward, I think I would really love to get a stage 3 team in here. At the very least, a stage 2 team, so I could throw a couple relic skill ups in Jarrett. I think there's a couple good things in his skill ups. So maybe we start working on a stage 2 team in here. Master of Death. It would be really handy to be able to farm stage 3 in here, but I'm pretty far away from being able to do it right now, I think. So, but that's on my mind. These are on my agenda for sure. And then I guess trying to figure out how to sneak into stage 7 in one of these dungeons. The fact that I can do this in 1:46 makes you think stage 7 should be fairly obtainable. But the difference is from stage 5 to 6 is a 5 level jump. From stage 6 to 7 is a 15 level jump. So it's substantially more difficult in stage 7. Like there's a noticeable bump in the fact that you start getting access to 5-star gear here. And it's like they know that and they want that to be hard. So we'll just keep doing what we're doing, I reckon. I did, as a quick update to the account, one, I got her fire relic. I'm very excited to build her. Since the first time I saw her, I've been excited to build her. I think she's got so much potential. And we got her fire relic, which looks really good. So I'm pretty excited to get her rolling. I'll probably build her fairly soon. And then we pulled Sarah finally. So I think Ban is the only rare I don't have now. I think I've got every rare except Ban. And she looks crazy good, right? She's got I think the defense buff is going to be pretty helpful for us in dungeons not getting one-shotted. And she's got a pretty good heal there. And another heal with a debuff cleanse here. So she might take my Clementine's place in some places. I think Sarah, on paper, seems like the best rare healer in the game. So I'm probably going to build her next and see if I can start slotting her into some places and alleviate the difficulty a bit. I also noticed on her ice relic, I think it is. Yeah, she's got a 20% of her max HP heal on her A3, which is crazy. That's a beefy heal in comparison to everyone else. You know what I mean? Like Clementine, who I love, has 8% on her A2, right? So 20%. If I can get Sarah up to 20,000 HP, we're talking, you know, a pretty beefy heal there. What's that? 4,000 plus if I can get like a heal set and stuff on her. So it'll be a very good heal on top of the defense buff. I think that's going to help me out in a lot of places. So she might take Clementine's place in some ways. In other ways, I still like Clementine a lot. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the game and my experience so far as a free-to-play player. A little bit of discussion about my account, what I have planned, what's been going on. So I'm very interested in hearing from you guys. How do you feel about the difficulty of the game as a free-to-play or as a spender? Do you feel like you've hit that wall that I'm talking about where it's like, I've gone as far as I can go in every direction, and in order to go further in one, I need to go further in others. So it's kind of a tough spot to be in. Have you hit that wall? Have you gotten through that wall? And how did you do it? Like, what was your experience getting through it? I'm very interested in like where everybody's at with this right now, especially with global launch coming up soon, apparently. It's going to be very interesting to see how the game continues to develop after global launch. So I guess that's it. I guess I'm done rambling for the day. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.